In this video, we will review the process of creating a one-to-one assessment using TheAX platform. A one-to-one assessment is a tool that you can use to quickly gather someone's view on the topic, but also to gather contact information so that later you can get in touch with them. An assessment can be created from the related product book. If you don't know how to create a product book or a maturity model, please visit our other videos where you can learn in details about the process. We will now navigate the assessment section of the product book. We have now opened the product book, so let's go to the assessments. We have arrived to the template tab. There are three sections here: templates, one-to-one and group assessments. Today we will work on the one-to-one assessments, but please check our other videos to learn about the other ones. We can see all the existing assessments on this page and can open them to review and edit by clicking on the item. This time we want to create a new assessment, so let's use the Create button. We can use an existing template to create an assessment or create a new from scratch. Templates are discussed in another video, so let's go with the Start from Scratch option. First step is to give our assessment a name. We also need to tell the platform if we want the assessment to work on category or dimension level. Of course, this option is only available if your maturity model has dimensions. For now, let's stay on the category level. When we are ready, use the Create Assessment button to proceed. The second step is the configuration of the questions in the assessment. First thing we need to tell AI is what categories you want to include in the assessment. You can pick all of them from the model or just a selection depending on your use case. For our purpose, we will select 3 of the 6 available categories. Next, we will start telling AI how we want the questions to be generated. We can give generic instructions across the assessment, or we can give specific instructions for each category or dimension. For our purpose, we will give generic instructions, but you can try defining this on a category level. We will now tell AI how we want the question to be generated. We can give specific instruction about the style and tone, about what question types should be used, and also how many questions should be generated for each category. Once we're ready with the setup, we can ask AI to start the generation process. It may take a bit of time depending on how many questions you ask AI to generate. Alright, so AI came up with proposed questions and answers based on our instructions. They might not be perfect, so let's see how we can edit them. You can edit the question wording, change the order of the options by drag and drop, edit or even remove an option, or even add new. If you don't like a question, you can just delete it. You can even add your own question by using the Add Question button. You can find it on the top of the page, but also after each category or dimension. If you decide to do so, first you need to select the type of the question, and then you continue by adding the text of the question itself. Once you are happy with the question, you can ask AI to generate the options, or you can edit them manually. Don't forget to save your work from time to time. When you want to move to another category, just simply select it from the left side panel. You can also add your own questions to the end of the assessment, or somewhere in between. You do the very same way as you've seen before. There is one more area we should talk about: the qualification questions. In this section, you can create questions that you use to collect additional information about the contact or the organization not related to your model. You can ask questions about the contact person that you directly link to your CRM model, like in this case the function they work for. Or you can ask questions about their marketing consent, so that you can use their contact details later for marketing purposes. For such question, we will use the yes/no question type. You can also set a question to be optional by switching the skippable on. Before you proceed to the last step of the assessment configuration, you need to save your questions. The last part of the assessment configuration is about how the assessment will be presented to the users. We can add a logo by selecting an image from our library or uploading a new one. We can upload a landing page image. We can select what chart we want to display at the end of the assessment for the user, and many additional configuration options. Please review them to understand all the possibilities. This is where you can select a report template for automatic generation. If you don't know how to create one, please check our video about document templates to understand how you can create. You also have to configure the messaging using the instructions and email sections. If you don't want to write them from scratch, you can ask AI to generate an example. And then it is possible to amend the text or the formatting. Introduction message and ending message are mandatory elements of the configuration, so let's do the same for the ending message. As an example of the additional options, we can also customize the email that is sent to the contact after the assessment was completed. On the Engagement tab, we can also add interactive elements such as videos or call to actions. Let's add the call to action to be able to book a calendar entry for yourself. Once we are happy with everything, we can now click on the next button to finish the configuration. The assessment is now ready. Let's click the Publish Assessment button to finish the process. Now you've learned how to configure one-to-one assessment using the TheAX platform. As you have now mastered this skill, please check our other videos to learn what else is possible.